Hello friend, this is my YouTube channel, IT Pro. You can watch it for a strongly foundation of information technology and promises you to give you conceptual knowledge in computer. Keep watching for latest videos. Time to time I will come with the latest video in computer. Thank you.
A letter that has several paragraphs, and to make each paragraph stand out just a little more, I want to add a first line indent. Before you add an indent, you may want to go to the View tab and make sure the ruler is displayed, since it makes it easier to customize your indents. To create a first-line indent, you can just place the insertion point at the beginning of a paragraph and then press the Tab key. You may have noticed that when I did this little marker on the ruler moved forward ½ inch. This is the first-line indent marker. There's also the hanging indent marker, the left indent marker just below that, and the right indent marker. We can move them to create various types of indents. They don't affect the whole document, just the parts that are selected. So let's select all of these paragraphs. Now drag the first line indent marker. We can also create a hanging indent, which moves all of the lines except the first line. The left indent will move all of the lines at the same time, and the right indent is useful if you want to make a paragraph narrower. But for this letter, I need a more traditional look, so I'm just going to do a first line indent of ½ inch. Indents are a good way to keep things lined up in your document, but for more complex documents, such as resumes, they're not always enough. I'd really like all of these dates to line up. I could just use spaces, but it's going to be difficult or impossible to get them to line up exactly. So I'll need to use tabs. If I place the insertion point right before the text I want to align, and then press the Tab key, it's going to jump forward in ½ inch increments. It's much easier to align these dates this way. If you go to the Home tab and click the Show Hide command, you'll be able to see the tabs, and they show up as these little arrows. You can delete them by pressing the backspace key. That works pretty well, but I'd like to have a little more control over exactly how the text lines up. I think a tab stop is exactly what we need here. Tab stops tell the text exactly where to line up, so you're not limited to ½ inch increments. On the left side of the screen is the tab selector. If you click it, it will cycle through all of the different types of tab stops that determine whether the text is left aligned, centered, right aligned, or aligned at the decimal point if you're using numbers. I'm going to select the right tab. Just like with indents, tab stops only apply to the selected paragraph. So select all of the ones that need tab stops. Then click on the bottom edge of the ruler where you'd like the tab stop to be. You can add more than one if you need to, and you can remove them just by dragging them off the ruler. Now to align the dates, we want to add just one tab before each year, and they will jump to the new tab stop. Generally, you'll need to add one tab for each tab stop. You can also move existing tab stops. Make sure your text is selected, and then move the tab stop to the left or right. But be sure to allow plenty of free space for the text. If I move the tab stop too far to the left, the dates won't have enough room, so they won't line up correctly. This document looks a lot better now. Having everything lined up gives it a neater, more professional appearance. It allows you to fine-tune the line and paragraph spacing in your documents. In this example, I'd like to start by changing the line spacing, which is the space between each line of text. Start by selecting some text, and then in the paragraph group, click the Line and Paragraph Spacing command. By default, the line spacing is 1.08, so if you change it to 1.0, the lines will be a little closer together. And if you choose 2.0, they'll be double-spaced. But if you want to have more precise control, click Line Spacing Options. There are two things that you can change: the line spacing mode and the amount. When the mode is set to multiple, you can type in the number of lines of spacing you want. The default is 1.08. So we might change it to something like 1.25 to spread the lines out a little bit. If you're more accustomed to measuring in points, like with font sizes, you can select exactly. Usually you'll want the spacing to be a little bit larger than the font size. Since I have 12-point text, I'd like to set it to about 14 or 15. Now you may have noticed that there is some extra space between each paragraph. That's because Word adds paragraph spacing by default. If you want, you can remove it or change the amount of space. Make sure the text is selected, then click the line and paragraph spacing command. And then at the bottom of the list, there are two options: add space before paragraph and remove space after paragraph. These options will vary depending on the current paragraph spacing. Just like with line spacing, if you want to fine-tune the paragraph spacing, go to Line Spacing Options, and then you can type in whatever values you want for the space before and after. I think I'll try 10 points after each paragraph. I think this looks pretty good, but if you don't like the way the line or paragraph spacing looks, you can go back and adjust it until your document looks the way you want. Documents like this one, I sometimes have trouble finding a specific word or phrase that I know is in there somewhere. The Find feature can help by searching the document for you. Click the Find command on the ribbon, then type the word or phrase you're looking for. The results will show up in the left pane and will also be highlighted in yellow. You can use the arrows here to jump to each instance of the word. If it's a word that appears multiple times, you can scroll through a list of the results. At times, you may find that you've made a mistake throughout your document, or you need to swap a certain word or phrase for another. For that, you can use the Replace command instead. I actually need to change Sewanee Review to the abbreviation SR. Now, when you're ready, click Find Next in the dialog box, then click Replace. Replace All can save you even more time by changing every instance in the document automatically. When it comes to using Replace All, though, it's important to remember that it could find matches you didn't anticipate and might not want to actually change. Generally speaking, you don't want to use Replace All because it doesn't give you the option of skipping anything you don't want to change. So you should only use this option if you're absolutely sure that it won't replace anything you didn't intend it to. Now that you know how to use Find and Replace, you can put this time-saving technique to work in your Word documents. Word gives you several different ways to add pictures to your documents. You can use your own, or you can search for something in the online picture library, which includes stock photos, clip art, and other graphic resources. In this example, I want to start by adding the company logo to the top margin of the document. The file is already saved to my computer, so inserting it should be pretty easy. Just go to the Insert tab, then click the Pictures command. From here, select the image you want. You may need to navigate to where it's saved on your computer. Then click the Insert button, and it will be added to your document. Remember, I wanted the image positioned in the very top margin, but watch what happens when I try to move it there using the drag and drop method. It doesn't work, because the current text wrapping setting won't allow it. Text wrapping controls the position of the image and the way the rest of your document wraps around it. To move the image freely, we'll need to change the text wrapping setting to something other than the default. First, make sure the image is selected, then look to the Format tab. From here, you can use Position to choose one of the predefined layouts, or you can try the Wrap Text command if you want a little more control. For a convenient shortcut, you can even access some of these options from the Layout button here. These 4 options are a good choice if the picture is in the main part of your document, for example, next to an article. We'll take another look at them at the end of this video. This time, I'm going to choose in front of text, so I can move the image around wherever I want. Just drag and drop the image wherever you want it to go. You can even use the arrow keys on your keyboard to gently nudge it into place. And there, I think that looks good. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you'd like to add a picture, but you don't have anything suitable of your own, that's okay. Word gives you access to thousands of images from other sources online. All you have to do is go to the Insert tab and click the Online Pictures command. From here, you can use Bing to search the web for stock photos, clip art, and other graphics. You can even access pictures from your OneDrive account if you have any stored there. I'm going to try a web search first. Just type your search term in the box, then press Enter on your keyboard. By default, Bing only shows images that are licensed under Creative Commons, which means it's okay to use them in your own projects. Just to be safe though, you should check the image's website to make sure there aren't any restrictions. Just follow the link you see here. This image looks good. It should be perfect for the newsletter I'm working on. To insert it, I'm going to click the thumbnail, then the Insert button, and it will be added to the document. To change the size of an image, all you have to do is click and drag the sizing handles here. The ones on the corners will make sure the image stays in proportion. Now we can adjust our text wrapping settings. Again, make sure the image is selected, then click the Wrap Text command on the Format tab. This time, I want something that'll place the image not behind or in front of the text, but positioned alongside it. As you can see from the preview, square would be a good choice. So would the tight option, which causes the text to sort of hug the image, if the image has a transparent background. I think I'm going to go with tight, and then move the picture to the right side of the article. Whether you have your own pictures or you've found something in the online collection, the right imagery can really make your document pop. Now you know a few different ways to add and position images so you get the right combination of pictures and text.
Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. And if you will like this video, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.